Alright, Novelette, what do you have to say to us? Alright, let's go. Let's go, I'm actually excited. I wonder if we're gonna see Furina here as well. I feel like we will. I don't know. Makes sense. To me it makes sense because he said he's gonna think about it overnight. Like about what he's gonna say, so... maybe? But for some reason I feel like we're not gonna see Furina as well. I wonder what Novelette is gonna say. How is he gonna describe it, you know? Hello, Sadid. How you doing?
You're here! Finally!
Oh god.
Is something wrong?
Yeah, what?
Monsieur Novelette and Lady Furina, they seem to have gotten into a dispute. Please go see for yourself.
Oh god, they're fighting. Oh, I thought... oh. Why did it go black though? What the
Like
hell?
I said, I've already explained everything.
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you not? Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the recent Poisson incident.
Oh. Does she know about the event that happened?
You mean they're all...
Oh, yeah, oh.
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster.
She
and
is
I will
shocked.
not have it happen again.
She is shocked.
I will say
I'm
this
curious
once more.
about, like,
you must
what
tell me
what's gonna happen
everything
with
you
Furina.
know.
You know, I'm really
Yesterday,
curious.
I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you know anything about those?
Oh?
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't know anything about that. But you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
That's correct.
Yeah, oh,
which is why
that's
I
good.
came to ask you some questions. There should have been
How she
4
said-
slates, but one of
how
them
she
was
said that.
missing. The other 3 feature different images that seem to correlate to the prophecy.
The prophecy?
The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing of this either?
I don't. I've never seen such slates.
See us in the background.
I'll ask you again. Do you really have no information regarding the previous Archon? My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin. If anyone would know about it, it should be you.
I mean...
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really so strange that I know nothing?
I mean, that is kind of true. That is kind of true, but it depends if you're a
I
part of her.
understand your concerns,
Like,
but
if she's a part of it.
I'm sorry. I just don't have anything to tell you.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Furina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters. There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also claim to not know any of Egeria's secrets, as well as do nothing following your inquiries.
Is this why she's gonna go on a
You
trial?
have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor
Oh, he's the
are
one.
you a fool. And yet, your behavior is very inconsistent.
So you've been watching me all this time, have you? I didn't think you were that type.
I hate it. It was like, fuck you.
Well, since
Oh,
you know
God.
about my secret investigations, then you should
Oh, my
know I'm
God,
actually working
Furina.
to take care of it.
You're... oh my god.
There's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix, but you're still my subordinate. You should be following my lead. Just trust in me, your Archon, and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince yourself to or not.
Oh, that's
It'll
what she...
all turn out fine.
That's where she says that. I thought she just said that for when her character was revealed because it just happened. I didn't know she actually said that. That is such a weird line. Never mind if you could convince yourself to or not. Just trust me.
That's all I have to say. We do not discuss this matter again. Oh, the opera's about to start. Toodles!
Oh, and she's running it. Whoa! What was that slow motion?
Did Furina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up
That
with
was
her.
cool.
She was
That was cool.
smiling.
That's cool.
She didn't seem in the mood to care if we were listening in or not.
She did. She seems deeply troubled. She seems like she's deliberately hiding something. The trial.
I assume you've been outside
trial.
for a while now?
Yeah.
Oh, you noticed.
I mean,
Seems Furina didn't
obvious.
even realize we were here.
it was obvious. I mean, true.
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time and again, a state of affairs that we cannot allow to continue.
I mean, everyone has their secrets, but I feel like if the secrets could tell like how you could save your entire nation, I feel like that shouldn't be a secret at that point. You should share it with Neuvillette at this point, you know?
Still, I do not understand.
Oh.
Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to engage?
I mean, I'm reading it right now. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm afraid questions alone might not suffice. We need to make her understand how dire the situation actually is. How more dire do you need to make it? Several people died.
Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret.
Like, what
The
more?
issue is her attitude. I fear that she will not reveal anything unless absolutely forced to.
Bruh.
We may have
I
to
love
create
Furina,
a
but-
situation in which she will have no choice but to speak.
The trial? Wait, so you put her in on... Wait, okay. After this line, let me say what I will say. So, are they gonna do like put her on trial just so she could speak? So put her onto death row just so she could say what she needs to say. Wow.
Like what?
Oh, that is cruel.
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro Archon experience just such a scenario.
I mean, it's smart, but that is cruel because it goes to a death sentence. That's so cruel.
But
Oh
Furina's
my
seen
God.
so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions.
She is.
How do we make sure that she won't just slip away at the first chance she gets?
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties, and then do what we can.
I'm excited. Wait, is she going to be performing? For the opera that she was going to? Because in the thing, she was on the stage at one point.
If
I
at
don't
all
know.
possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent the prophecy from coming to pass.
I mean, I felt the prophecy is on the highest agenda right now.
This may
Sorry.
be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god
Like I said,
possesses is too precious, and so we must take a chance on this.
Literally what I just said. In that case, we would need help. Alakito?
But who will lend us their aid to do such a thing?
Oh, I think I know who to call. The knave, right? Oh, after a few days on a boat somewhere in quiet Poisson. I really came with the hydro thing. I was like, oh wait, no, it's just a loading thing. I was like, oh, does that mean something? A few days later, wait, what? A few days later, Jesus Christ.
Well, that's everyone, huh?
Huh?
Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Where are we?
Marcel was just involved in a disaster,
oh.
so it's presently devoid of people. That
I
naturally
mean, still there
makes
for
it the
Tui.
best choice.
I just thought Arlecchino. But I guess it's still the Fatui.
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world, huh?
I mean, it's tea soup. Isn't it like a tea soup? I mean, it's quite natural. isn't
That's
it?
what families should do. Sit and enjoy a leisurely time together.
You guys think that Liddy tea?
It's
Yeah.
nice to enjoy tea here, you know?
Is Fremine
Care
here
for
as
a
well?
cup?
Lend me your
Oh.
ears, everyone.
Yo.
Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
No, I don't think I can.
Then, how about you, good sir?
Oh, Nivola. Oh,
I fear
hello.
that I will cause the mood on this boat to become
Oh,
as
wait.
somber as it is in court.
Oh, we're in Poisson. Okay.
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things. Wonderful, the spotlight at last. I guess I'll be facilitating things from here.
Oh,
That was a
Gloria's here
little
as well.
long-winded, don't you think?
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, the Traveler, has brought us together to discuss something. As for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of traps.
For how?
Oh, how intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand and used on the spot. So, let's invite her to explain in detail. A round of applause, please.
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be facilitating this?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice. You might even pick up some fancy oratory tricks to impress your boss with in the future.
I see. And what does my boss say?
He is glad that you consider him your boss. Do go on.
Oh, this is kind of funny. This is kind of funny.
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
I do, from Shangling. We learned it from Shangling.
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette, oh, right. You were sick that day, weren't you?
I've also gone diving to catch some fish before. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts.
I'm afraid not.
What? You're hunting for
You
fish?
may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group known as the Marechaussee Hunters. Though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus.
Oh?
Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society, taking up arms in other lines of work. They even left a unique methodology of hunting in their wake. A trap comprises of the following
Spinner web.
components: bait, a trigger, and a containment device. Sometimes a lethal implement will also be necessary to deal with the prey.
What are we gonna do? What are we doing to Furina?
So, if we were to build a trap together, right now, what would you choose to build it with?
For me,
I
I would
gotta be
prefer
honest, no idea.
something
Oh,
basket-shaped.
it's about this. I
Pigeons
thought you
and
meant
rabbits
metaphor.
will see the bait and naturally enter the snare. Our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the best in the industry, so you can count on our techniques.
And they're gonna say, well, to catch a human, or to catch a god.
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime. I'm quite the multitasker if I do say so myself.
God damn it.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like placing bait in the water and waiting for the fish to come within reach. That's the kind of method I would count on.
So just fishing, yeah.
Calm and steady. Exactly the kind of person who would catch loads of fish.
And I can be their assistant.
With discretion, I'm sure.
Come on,
Probably
man.
use
Come
some
on.
sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels, mice, and such. When placed in the forest, they can attract others of their kind.
We could get Carve and Farazed for the, because they built something for the Interdata Championship.
I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're
Oh yeah,
realistic
they were
enough,
friends when they were young.
animals of the same kind will
Well,
follow
weren't
them
they?
all the way to the trap.
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do not have any related experience.
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, without the use of any such tricks. But I do have one more question for you, monsieur. If
Huh?
we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey. A more gentle trap would be ideal.
Kind, as always. However, Our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment device and the type of implement we need. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However,
Where's
that
this
also goes
going?
for prey that must be captured and safely contained.
Where is this going, man?
Wait, why's that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that divides life and death is often exceedingly thin.
So, are we going hunting together?
Huh. We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters. It kinda works, but maybe it's still not the best metaphor.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunting metaphor is actually quite accurate.
Wait, does everyone know that we're trying to catch put Furina on trial? If so, then kind of confused now.
But we shall require much more courage than any
I think they
hunter
do.
to judge a god, a being whose seat is an exalted
Okay,
throne.
they do know. They do know. That's right.
Oh, so that's what's going on. Sounds very interesting.
Oh my god. Okay, they don't. Okay, Linny didn't know. Chlora's hunting metaphor was just that, a metaphor. You would not call this a hunt because this is not what you should do at present. Nor has a relationship between you and Furina reached such a dire stage. True. God damn it! I wish I could just press space. What you need is simply the secret she is keeping. Attempting to take her secrets is an act of an act of disrespect, but must be done to prevent Fontaine from sinking into the waters as foretold in the prophecy. There is neither hunter nor prey, but there needs to be a trap. That is what you will need. So what is... Oh, where are... Oh, okay, we are. Yeah, okay. So what are we gonna be doing now? Okay, we're going under here now. I'm a teeny bit, I feel like I'm confused on what, how we're gonna do it. Like, very confused on how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna get Mona involved? Is that what's happening? What the hell was that?
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? So much has been happening.
Those meetings sure did make me hungry.
Paimon didn't
Wait, we
think
haven't
the
d-
meetings would go on for so long, but
Wait.
everyone seemed pretty fired up, huh?
Wait, we've had the meetings for a few days? Jesus.
Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone else just looked a little surprised.
That is true. Did you feel more confident after the meetings, Paimon? Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
it's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But with you around, Paimon sure will do great. After all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Huh?
Is something wrong?
Did you just pour some tea? Paimon didn't notice you doing that at all.
Mona? No, I didn't.
Then what's that?
Oh, the fancy cup. That's definitely Mona.
Paimon's never seen that cup before.
It's definitely Mona. Look at the cup.
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea. I merely refrained from saying anything till now.
Nicole? That's her name, right, Nicole?
Who's that voice? But there's no one here.
Okay, did not expect that. This is how we're gonna meet her. Oh, wait, because yeah, we did ask Mona to meet her master. I remember that.
Have you forgotten me already?
Yeah.
You are familiar.
Yeah.
You're the voice we heard from the sky in Sumeru.
After Wanderer's Quest.
The voice from the
Introduction.
sky, I fear that description is wrong. Though, not completely wrong.
I mean, not now. It's coming from a teacup.
You're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously. I sensed that confusion and thus came to you. Guiding people is an irresistible hobby of mine, after all.
Who are you and what do you want with us?
Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple on a whim.
Friend's disciple. So this is one of the friends of Mona's master. Oh, okay. enactment N of the Hexen Circle. So I get confused with whose master's who. So it's not Mona's master, it's a friend of Mona's master. Okay. And I'm going to ask you, will Fontaine's prophecy come true?
The prophecy.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
Well, great.
What?
Okay.
Then is there any way we can stop it?
She did say we can change fate. It's just extremely hard to.
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything in Tevat so easily be changed?
There it is again, fate. Can there really be no exceptions?
Ah, so you've caught on. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall?
Carnaria?
Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods perceive?
Ooh.
What is she talking about?
That's a very interesting line.
That sounds really impressive and important and stuff, but it also sounds kind of scary.
It does. The tea in the cup is just about gourd as well.
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant.
It's like a timer. It's like
but
a timer.
others you must reach out to change. Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part. This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality. Well, that'll be all for today.
1, I didn't do anything. 2, how the hell are you drinking that tea? And 3, where actually are you?
The voice. It's gone.
But she said before that we could change fate. But gods would find it really hard to. Major N. Is this the clue you're leaving for us? A weird clue. I expect to leave the comic game finished. Like, oh, what the fuck? The Awake someone's seems to be outside. Now is it Mona?
What?
I don't know. I keep guessing Mona
I
at this
hear
point.
someone talking. All right, coming.
You're getting more diligent, Paimon.
Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay?
Well,
That
I see
is.
I've walked in on some lively banter.
Mona!
I guess you're right this time. How have you been these past few days?
Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that Steambird panel. It turned out to be more interesting than I expected.
Oh, okay, so...
Not all Fontainians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting around and waiting for the end to come would be wrong, and that they should make their own rescue preparations. I agreed, so we had a brief chat with her.
Did she have pink hair by any chance?
Why, yes, it was Charlotte. You remember her, right? That daredevil journalist?
Yes.
I'm in full support of her view. Prophecies are very important, but how can people allow their lives to be commandeered by just a few words?
True.
That's right!
Very true.
Paimon's glad to hear something sensible for once.
What do you mean for once?
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't reach the old hag. I'll try again tonight, but I wouldn't get your hopes up.
Actually, Salt already came over.
Huh?
You tell Mona about your mysterious guest. Yep.
Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
I believe she came to pass a message to
She
us.
said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask Paimon. Most people would believe the gods to be all-knowing, right?
Oh wait, no, that was Celestia's guest. Oh, so when I was talking about Carnaria, so I thought they said God, the god's gaze. For some reason I thought it meant Celestia's gaze. So, yeah.
The Hexen
So,
Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that N's sense of direction is incredible, and that she loves guiding those who are lost. But I've never met her, and if she were still alive, she'd be... Well, suffice it to say that the hag's at least a few hundred now, and N's been around for longer than that.
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a scary group. But they must really stay in shape to live so long.
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see you personally, then the problem you're facing must truly be of great importance.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand anything she said.
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means that there is still a way to turn things around. She didn't say when or what that would be, though, so perhaps it is something that you cannot know right now.
True, her words were meant to be what did I just read? True, her words were meant as a helpful hint. But when will we realize that value and meaning? Was that the best answer that my question could have gotten?
Traveler, Paimon, are you two alright?
Yeah, just thinking.
Oh, we're fine. We're just a little down right now.
Don't know what to do right now.
Kind of
No
feels
idea what
like
to do right
the
now.
end is coming, you know?
Yeah.
I see. I feel that same sense of desperation, too. I guess you could consider me someone who has often witnessed fate. So far as I have seen, it cannot be swayed. But even so, I still hope for, and believe in, miracles. Astrology is eternal and rational, but fate may not be. It is cruel, but it can also be beautiful. Perhaps that's what En was trying to tell you. Not to lose heart, and to believe that what you are seeing playing out before you is not yet set in stone. I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't. Even if this is all futile, I still wish to help everyone. If we don't struggle to the last, then how can we face the end when it comes?
Huh.
Yep.
You do have a point.
There I go, talking about astrological principles again. Sorry about that. The moment I start talking about work-related stuff. I need to get going.
Don't worry about it, Murder, and thank you.
It was worth trying to comfort you, even if only a little. I believe that you'll help those who are struggling in the same way I did. I suppose that might be why we always seem to meet by coincidence.
I'm just thinking something.
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said. But also kind of sad, too. Hey, Traveler. Paimon suddenly feels like going outside for a walk. Let's go.
Something's gonna happen.
Let's walk around the city, shall we?
Something's gonna happen.
There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
I just want to say, since the water levels have been rising unexpectedly, they got back down, and since water's flowing in here, should we be evacuating all these people? Just in case it happens again, because this is a very enclosed space. Places that are not great to, like ladders and stuff, which are slow to get up, to leave from. So, I feel like we should be doing stuff, like, you know, evacuating them. When are we going to be jailed as well? I know we see him in the Opera Epic class, but do we meet him before that as well? What? Wonder.
Huh? Our names are written in this newspaper. What's going on?
Maybe we're famous.
Let Paimon see. The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy, but that does not mean that others cannot interact with it. My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Guess Charlotte still hasn't given up on that.
Oh yeah, that.
Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? A blonde adventurer with their white fairy legends trailing in their wake. It is said that this mysterious traveler once visited the underwater fortress. So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the tales of the traveler contain surprises in spades. Journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet, the Traveler's Trail, World Walker. Huh. Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us and we never even noticed her. She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find, she's using us as the subject matter instead?
That sure seems to be the case.
Seriously? Well, fine. Those headlines and photos do look cool, so Paimon will forgive her this time.
Well, I love how she goes to that voice. It's kind of funny. I gotta be honest, something's gonna happen, man. Something's gonna happen when we're out here. Like, it just seems too normal right now. It seems way too normal. Oh, was someone staying here?
We're here! Paimon's hungry. Should we go in and get something to eat?
Sure. I mean, I'm not hungry right now, but you know, Paimon, you can eat a crumb. Why do I feel like Alakina gonna be here?
Hey, quick! Look! That's the limited edition, only 16 slices a day cake!
It's true. It hasn't already sold out for the day.
It was so delicious the last time we tried it. Despite the tense situation we were in, let's give it another go. I'm sure it'll be great.
That's kind of interesting, to be honest. Maybe Furina's like in trouble. We can't let anyone get ahead of us.
1 slice of cake, please.
Oh, god damn it.
Someone showed up after all.
God damn it.
Wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Sadine!
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It seems Monsieur Nervalet was right. You really can eat.
Wait, did he really say something like that?
True!
That's right.
Oh, that's
Even
funny.
he has his own preferences when it comes to food. As for me, I love the cake and coffee here.
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Oh, wow.
Every day?
Jeez.
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work. I shall have my cake and coffee.
I feel like that's not good, like, for your health. Cake and coffee. Like, I mean, coffee every day, who cares? But cake every day?
Then what if someone told you one day that this place would be closing soon?
Paimon!
And you wouldn't get to eat cake here anymore? What would you think?
What's this about?
But why would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't know either, but maybe
Paimon, just stop talking!
maybe the waters will rise tomorrow. You know, like in the prophecy.
Paimon, stop talking.
Oh, the prophecy. To be honest, I haven't paid much attention to that. No. Still, even if there'd be no more cake tomorrow, that wouldn't keep me from having some today. No. It's the same for eating in general. You might not be able to eat tomorrow, but if you can do so today, then you should carry on. That's what people call living, you know.
Huh.
Hey, good advice, but it's kind of funny how she says
Don't
most
be
things.
sad.
It's good.
Excuse
I love
me,
it.
could I have 2 more slices of cake to go?
What?
These 2 slices are for
Oh,
you.
tough to say.
Sichuan said that this
That's
kind
it.
of expression you're making is what
Ah,
humans
Sichuan.
call being sad.
Oh, you know Sichuan?
I mean, she's a fellow Melazine.
I sure do. She was born before me, and she sometimes comes to the surface to teach us things about humans. She said that humans are creatures that are saddened easily. Yes,
That is true.
and you can only lift their spirits by feeding them delicious food. So please try the cakes here.
Sad, eat food, be happy.
I've got something else to
Eat.
do, so I'll be going now. You two try to stay in a good mood after eating, all right? Bye.
Bye, Sadina. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, she's kind.
And there she goes.
What the fuck?
All right, let's dig in.
That was completely
I'm
different
sure
line.
this cake will be delicious.
That was completely a different line. You share glance with Paimon as
It's
snuff
more
down the
delicious
cake.
than last time. And the flavor gets even
Of course it
better
is.
with a sip of tea. It sure would be nice if we could come again tomorrow. Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious food here.
Paimon, stop making things so depressing! Oh my god! Jesus, everything has... Jesus! Oh, this food is so delicious. Oh wait, we might not be able to eat it tomorrow because this place will be destroyed. Oh, thanks, my god. Jeez. Oh, this... Okay, we're just outside. Wait. Wonder who we're gonna meet out here then. Oh, don't worry. Oh, Charlotte? Hello, Charlotte.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon! Oh, have you seen the article I wrote about you?
Yes.
You've got some nerve. You just used us to make some quick mora.
Can we negotiate a profit split?
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter to discuss just that. It appears you didn't receive it, though.
Oh?
It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you. I've even set the table with some food.
Oh?
Really? Oh, you're the best.
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motives, you'd be in trouble now, you know.
Oh, Paimon knows you're not like that.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you looking for me?
When Mona mentioned you, we thought of coming to see you at work.
Oh, yeah. True. Yeah.
I see.
Okay.
It seems you've already bumped into Mona here in Fontaine.
A few days ago as well. Yeah.
So she mentioned me? What did she say?
You're crazy.
A real
I'm joking.
daredevil of a journalist.
Joking.
Nice. In which case, can this daredevil journalist dare to request an exclusive interview with the legendary traveler and Paimon?
Fine.
So your article in the paper today doesn't count?
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper and ask you to talk about the things you've seen and experienced.
You seriously wanted to interview me?
Yeah. Are we even qualified enough?
What?
Why not? If I say you're worth an interview, then you're worth it.
I mean, true.
But not right now, of course. I'll need a few days to prepare.
But I mean, like, do you need to be like... Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, in that case, we'll just chat when you have the time then?
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief immediately. I'll have to apply for lighting, a venue, some props, and...
You don't need to do that. Like,
Oh, so much to get done now. Talk to you later.
it's just an interview. Like, I do mean like an exclusive
Wait,
interview, like in a
Paimon's
room or
still got a
something.
question for you.
And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded tomorrow,
I mean, getting everyone prepared, I
what
guess.
would you do today?
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it often, but I've never once thought that the day could be tomorrow. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist first and foremost. That means I have a duty to be reporting from the scene. And secondly, I wouldn't forsake my homeland that easily. From what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come to pass. In truth, it might be better just to behave like normal rather than worry over such an end. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know what you're thinking. That sounds a bit sad, but I've always believed that it's best to do what you enjoy. Just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still successfully finish an exclusive interview with a truly unique person, then the story I would wind up writing would truly be timeless. And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and use messenger pigeons to get copies out to the various nations as soon as possible. I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic, but I do love my job.
I mean, maybe
And
you're
I'd be
workaholic.
proud of leaving such an article behind.
I mean, everyone in
I
this
guess
game's
you
a
could say
workaholic.
that I was born to be a journalist. But anyway,
you were.
that's my answer.
I mean, you were.
And on that note, I'll get back to my preparations.
Bye, Charlotte.
That's so nice. All of a sudden, Paimon actually kinda envies her. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we?
Look at the sea, under the sea. We've bet someone in a place
The
everywhere,
sea breeze
so
and scenery can be a pretty
Hey, we gotta
soothing
be here.
combo, huh?
we've got to be here.
Paimon's been thinking,
Sweat got louder. Yes.
if it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow, where would we go and what would we do?
Fly off to the stars again.
No, Paimon should ask,
Fly off
if
to
you
the
could choose, what would you like to do?
Alright. If I could choose, just like Charlotte said, suddenly trying to consider what to do is pointless.
We've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds of things. We didn't have to either, with us always being on the road and whatnot.
Until the moment comes, I think I'll keep journeying on.
You mean, still traveling?
Yes, cherishing every single moment. That I have to look upon this world.
Huh. Wait, isn't that what we've always been doing?
And we keep on doing it. The banter goes back and forth between you two as the time slips by. As night falls, you return to your accommodations and end this busy day. The next few days are just as calm. Charlotte comes to find you and conducts an interview in the Spinner de la Zula safe house at the Fu Sundre. Navia, having finished her business in Busan, even drops by to take a photo with the two of you. It all goes well. Wish I could have seen that. No, nice. That would have been nice if I could have seen it. Oh. We're back here again.
Feels like you'll grow mold if you stay here long enough. But it's still better than the Fortress of Mirapede, that's for sure. It's not only damp there, but salty too.
Ah, so the two of you are still here. Wonderful.
Oh, what?
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermonia, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to look for you two before. I heard that afterward you went to the Fortress of Meropide.
So I under the impression that we might be wanted criminals.
Not at all. I'm well aware that you're friends of his. Actually, I'm here to pass along a message from him.
Did something? Let's hear it. Did something happen?
Yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée Phantom has declared the incident a small-scale riot.
A riot?
Well, that said, I don't personally think it was that serious. Lady Furina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and while she was resting during an intermission, some other audience members suddenly started harassing her.
Oh, great.
Loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis.
Oh, of course.
And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow, and protests against the Hydro Archon started to break out.
I mean, poor Furina, but I feel like she should stop hiding like stuff at this point.
So people have started to put the blame on Furina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the pressure they've been under due to the prophecy.
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods, as is customary. But the moment people feel threatened, gods are also the first to be blamed.
So what happened after that? Is Furina okay?
Yeah.
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was pointless, she claimed that she'd gotten tired of this and left in a hurry.
I mean, she's getting asked by everyone at this point.
The Maréchaussée Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Furina had gone. Only when things had stabilized did we realize that she had gone missing.
So, you mean she's still missing?
Oh.
That's right. The Maréchaussée has dispatched many people to search for her, but we don't have any leads yet.
She's probably just hiding to get away from everything
That
at this
said,
point.
I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god, after all. Even if she were to fall into the hands of rioters, what could ordinary people do to her?
I mean, it depends. I don't think she is that powerful. I understand the situation.
Good. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to tell you about the situation, but he didn't say anything else.
Don't worry, this is more than enough to go on. Thanks for keeping us informed.
Yeah.
Is that so? Well, all right then. In that case, you two take care. I'll be heading back to the Palais now.
Bye, Isadora. Do they know where she is?
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then.
You sure caught on quickly?
If we know Furina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. Instead, she'll look for a place to wait out the heat.
Then why would she be in Poisson?
And as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic, but she doesn't have a heart of stone. When Nervillet was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and she heard about Poisson, she couldn't hide her sadness and remorse.
Oh, so she went over there to check.
It would be hard for her to ignore being accused by the public today. Paimon thinks Furina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Poisson and try to relieve the sense of guilt that she's feeling. Huh. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the analysis to back it up, too. Cool, huh?
I see becoming a detective's done you some good.
In that case, there's not a moment to lose. Poisson, here we come!
Alright. Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, Poisson. I was like, wait, where are we going? Oh, yeah, Poisson. I'm curious, could Davia would be here too, right? So...
This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation.
Oh, she's down there?
Could Furina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.
I don't know, could she? Could she?
That's Furina, right over there. She really is here all on her own.
Shh, stay quiet for now. Oh, she's crying.
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless. What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead.
I thought Navia said that. Oh, Furina said that. Oh, okay. I thought it was Navia.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, the regret.
Give up, Furina.
The regret.
There's no point in holding out. I'm sorry. But what can I even do other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over?
Furina.
Who's that?
Don't worry, Furina, it's just us.
So it is you, blonde traveler from another land.
Oh, so you're right.
I almost thought you were someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects. Come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
Furina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. I'm still trying to process it.
Yeah.
Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Disturbing my enjoyment of the arts.
Come on, Furina.
They even dare to doubt their Archon. I must teach them a lesson. I can just imagine their twisted and frustrated faces once they realize that I'm nowhere to be found. Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Marche Chaussee Phantom are freaking out right next to them, too.
Stop trying to act though, Furina. You're actually beyond devastated right now, aren't you?
Of course not.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there!
Oh, God.
Quick, after her!
Alright, Furina, let's run. Let's run.
Furina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person, aren't they? That's against the rules. I can't let them get their way.
Oh, and she's off.
Furina just ran off. Quick, we have to catch up with her.
Yep. Yep. Oh, for some reason, I imagine her like going into the water. Something, I don't know. Oh, yeah, you ain't catching up with us. Oh, they are running so slow. They ain't catching up with us. Idiots. I'm sorry. They are being annoying, though. They are being annoying.
This should be the place, right? Hey, Furina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch up to you.
What is this place?
Hurry, they're almost here.
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way.
I mean, are we just break into someone's house? Is that what's happening? Oh. Did we just break into someone's house? Oh, we did. We did. Sorry.
Everyone's exhausted.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I was recording, even though I'm 40 minutes in.
I'm so tired. I totally thought they had caught me. No, I mean, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they displayed.
This place is not, what I'd call soundproof.
You're right. Yep, that's a good girl.
Don't... Oh, the water's rising again?
What's happening? The ground's shaking. Is it an earthquake?
I know the disaster just struck, I suspect.
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Novelette's made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
Yeah, I hope you're right. But the people of Poisson, they've already...
Has Furina finally reached her limit? Not that she's talking about her actual feelings, she's starting to look far less stiff. Begin to talk about yourself as Furina slowly calms down.
It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over
Oh wow,
Tibet,
hundreds, Jesus.
searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways too to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled.
But even then, you still haven't given up, right?
Give up. I do love the sound of that phrase. It would mean finally coming to terms with fate, but also for me to finally be free.
That would also mean that all hope would disappear.
Indeed.
Literally.
I've thought about giving up
figuratively.
so many times, especially after we almost lost Poisson. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obeys no rules. The prophecy has only just started to come true, and so many people have already lost their lives. But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else. As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late. Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the very end. Well, that's enough for now.
Whoa,
I got the
changed.
impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all.
Oh my
Don't
god.
take any of what I just said seriously. How could I possibly let Fontaine fall to the whims of trivial prophecy?
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually being honest just now.
We're running out of time. We can't just go back to square one like this. I have to get more information out of her. Furina. You might not have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
Oh. But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide with someone. To share it with me, I'm what you'd call a witness.
A witness? Yes. I've heard that you came to Teyvat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here.
But Lamine does. But I feel like Lamine does because she's gone all over Teyvat and then other stuff, blah 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 blah. But anyway, and Kana and stuff. But yes, who called us a witness? Zhongli, Xiao. Did Nahida call us a witness? I don't think so.
And if Teyvat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you?
I mean, not really, I gotta be honest. We've been involved in the middle of everything.
If that's the case...
There's no time left, please, Furina. Just spit it out. Oh my god. Oh, cutscene? Whoa! Hold up, what? Oh, the water's gonna come flooding in? Is the water gonna come, like, flooding in or some shit? Because I'm gonna say, her just talking ain't Would it like be like a cutscene itself? So they set up us as... They set up us? They set us up?
Ladies and gentlemen, this
cool.
concludes my opening performance.
Wow, they set us up as well.
Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
So this is what it is. Yes, you deserve praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Focalors, the god of justice, the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike you as even the least bit absurd to bring the very concept of justice to trial?
But you did kind of say even you could be judged by the oratories.
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
You would draw your blade against a god?
Yeah.
I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
I actually thought she was gonna put out a sword there for a second.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Lady Furina, what is the meaning of this?
Shh! It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. No duel shall be necessary. I will admit that I've been running away for a long time. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial for my crimes. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly disappointed in myself. But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve.
This is not how I thought this was going to turn out.
I,
how
Furina,
she was going to get here.
Will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice. This time, I will protect you. Applaud and rejoice. One of the most outrageous and fantastical arcs known to the opera epiclese is now unfolding before your eyes. Mark my words, this shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. The trial of the Hydro Archon, Focalors, will now begin!
I love how she's saying that.
Woohoo! Oh, now we're making history.
She was quiet.
Why does it feel like Furina just took over the whole thing? Like,
Yeah.
come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
All right, then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Thank you, Your Honor. Oh, wait. Oh.
Is that so?
Very look at that. It's good. Back
then
to
please
Act 1
speak,
again.
witness of Tivat, my accuser and fated opponent.
We were so close to getting her to tell us the truth, and it still turned out like this in the end. Well, they opened the doors too quickly. If they just let her speak, then we would have got more information. It's okay though. As long as we can defeat Furina in court, we'll still have a chance to figure everything out. Oh. Oh, that was cool.
Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins, just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates.
Oh.
They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A spark was all we needed to turn smoldering anger into a flame.
I wonder, like, what is she gonna say in the end? Like, what is she gonna, like, confess to in the end? You know?
Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean, the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina?
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontainian history.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epicles.
And killed someone.
The volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Areneas. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Furina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Sorry about that. We deceived you back there.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion
how is this gonna
duelist in
go?
all of Fontaine
How is this
would
gonna go?
accept a duel with an Archon without flinching.
Thank you.
As for you, traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you found me in Poisson. You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
No, you guessed wrong.
Oh?
My mission was to give you one last chance. We hoped that you would share your secret with us before the magic box arrived onto the stage. I feel like she was gonna say it. I don't know. Felt like she was. I'm gonna say something
then I
at least.
suppose I must have missed my final chance. It's fine. It matters not. What's done is done. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through to the very end.
I know it ends up her getting a death sentence, but I wouldn't. How would that be set up? Because you can't set up the oratories. Yeah, the only thing we can do now is to judge the Hydro Archon. Still, I can't help but be a little bothered by the conversation earlier. What did Furina want to say to me before we arrived on the stage?
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up the proceedings.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something?
Interesting.
Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte! Oh, let Paimon see. Isn't this the exclusive interview that she did with us before? So she's already finished it, huh? Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened ever since we stepped foot in Fontaine! So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument!
It's a super practical gift. I never would have thought of using it in this way.
Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
Okay.
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right. You defeated the Hydro Archon. I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I'd been following all this time. I guess you could also see this as a happy coincidence. This is the first time Monsieur Neuvillette had a difference of opinion with the Oratrice. Even the Hydro Archon can't figure it out. A Fatui Harbinger. She's an extraordinary person. Her instinct must mean something. The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day.
It was.
That I didn't witness that scene personally will always be a source of professional regret, I think. According to Monsieur Neuvillette, both Child and that whale should have been in the primordial sea at that time.
Hold up. If the whale turns up in the Opera Epiclass, does it happen in this trial? Navia falling into the water.
I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, that still gives me shivers.
Tea time event.
The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly understood when something surreal happens to you.
Okay, that was it.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on, Neuvillette. There's no need to repeat all the unimportant legalese. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant and the lead actress of this performance, I still haven't even been informed of my supposed guilt in all of this. Of course, it is only natural for humans to struggle to understand the actions of a god. However, you will need more than that to convict me of a crime.
That's true, but my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Wait, what was that? Lady Furina's a fraud?
Oh!
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking our duty, but did I hear that right? She's not our Archon at all?
Charge accepted. Lady Furina, do you plead guilty to the charge? Lady Furina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty?
Holy shit! Wait, hold on, what?
There is no way that I, Focalors, otherwise known as Furina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true Archon.
Yeah, even though Lady Furina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her very identity?
True.
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure, Lady Furina can be super irresponsible, but what grounds does that prosecutor have to make such a huge claim?
Yeah.
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no fooling their memory.
So is the theory that she is like a fragment of Egeria, but she has no idea really what's going on so much true then? Like that theory? No way.
See?
That'd be so cool.
Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want to commit to a charge that will never be upheld? If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the god of justice that you will not have to face trial for making a false accusation. We will treat everything that's happened as a dramatic spectacle and move on with our lives. What do you say to that?
I mean, that is a good offer, but no.
An argument
A
with
good
near
offer, but
impossible
no.
odds, huh? We have to not only refute Furina's claims, but also overturn the long-held beliefs of the people.
The people only see you as their Archon, because that's a long-held belief.
Well, I tried to give you the chance to surrender.
Oh.
If you must persist, then let me ask. If you believe I'm not the Archon, then what manner of being do you think I am?
Ocean it?
And if I
seen it.
was not the Archon, then how did I manage to live for over 500 years?
I've got to think carefully. What do we know to be special about Furina exactly? Oh. This goes... Oh, it's a Oh, one of these? This one, right? Maybe? Yeah, the one about the name. The charred one doesn't make sense.
First of all,
Charred one does make sense.
you may be
Do you
a
have the
member
glasses?
of another long-lived race, which would allow
Nah.
you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second of all, even if that wasn't the case, there could be other ways to extend your life.
Such as a curse. Like the Conjuring curse.
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
It doesn't matter who gave us the information. What matters is the veracity of the claim.
A curse? I once thought it
The
possible
sin?
that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse. But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
You sensed it too, huh, Neverlet?
So, Furina, instead of an Archon, could you just be a cursed human?
Lady Furina is actually a human?
I'd say more of an Oceanid, or like, you know, a fragment of, Egeria.
Well,
I don't know.
it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them. It's not impossible.
I mean, true. True.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been
Oh, the
carrying
law!
a curse like
The
you
law!
said, how
The
does
law!
that prove that I
law!
am merely a human being? Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as gods.
Where's your gnosis then?
For centuries,
Where's the
manifestations
gnosis?
of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the endemidium that is used in every aspect of life.
True. I mean, true. Wait, that one child proved the opposite. Freda actually has no control over the Oratrice at all. She never had control over it to begin with, right? I mean, I thought that was mostly understood. It has a mind of its own. That's why she has no idea what's going on. But, it's either Egeria or she built it, you know? Egeria or her builder. Yes, yeah. That one. 100%. Because she didn't know what the fuck was going on.
You tried to reference the Oratrice. But weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with a good explanation for that by now.
I mean, I feel like all you could say is that, well, it has a mind of its... Well, it's sentient. I don't know.
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans to comprehend. There is no need to provide an explanation.
Is she really saying that she controls it?
Lady Furina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant in this trial. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Furina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect and follow.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice.
I mean, jeez, my voice. I don't think she knows it, like, it's going sentient, right? She doesn't know that, right?
Instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon, haven't they?
The real Hydro Archon? Well, now you're really losing me. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally, and it has been operating independently ever since it was first created.
There we go.
You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be no god at all.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
Sure, we can put the Oratrice aside for now. But then, Miss Furina, could you give us a brief demonstration of your power as an Archon?
My power as an Archon? There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just carelessly demonstrate the formidable power of an Archon?
Do the Ferris wheel of food that you pick out the cake from.
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the audience.
You don't need to go that far.
A brief demonstration of your power of Hydro should be quite harmless. Surely an Archon can at least match the capacities of a human with a vision. True.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority of a god?
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people, and I've converted the people's faith in justice into Indemnitium!
That is literally the theory. She's literally saying a theory. People say, well, the reason that she's probably really weak is because all the power's going to the freaking Oratrice. Oh my gosh, you literally just said the theory that
Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their daily lives. Have you ever seen a more magnanimous god?
Isn't that a huge stretch?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a god?
Uh-oh.
It seems like nobody's buying Furina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please don't stare at me as if I was a liar. I'm still the same Furina you knew, right? The one that you loved. Shouldn't you want to believe in me? Please? You've got to believe me.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a grave offense.
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And all of our ancestors? Ever since they were born?
Enough! That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydro Archon, then who is? If you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence,
the
nor
Oratrice
can you find anyone who can back up their claim to be such, then what grounds have you to say that I'm not actually the real deal?
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. How can we refute her now? Seems like she really doesn't want to give up.
We could just say it's the Oratrice or something, maybe. If you can't prove that she isn't the Archon, we could try to prove that she is just a human. And if she's only human, then there's no need to prove that what the other Archon is. That one doesn't make sense, I don't know. Maybe this one? Lenny's one didn't make sense at all.
It has been established that all Fontaine ingredients can dissolve in water from the primordial sea. And that means...
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all suspicions of you being the latter.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court. Though you act in partnership with the prosecutor, you must still adhere to proper procedure.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really will be the last time that I'll speak out of turn.
I feel like it's not. I feel like it's
Now,
not.
I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area not long ago, taking many lives, including those of some of my closest friends. So, Miss Furina, would you dare to touch some of this seawater? If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching this seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case. But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rosula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years. I guess her suggestion is valid.
If Lady Furina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontainian like all the rest of us. Would she really dare to try?
Oh, she actually is? Oh. I know her hat just falls onto the floor, Furina.
Lady Furina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm of standard court proceedings, you possess the right to decline participation.
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession of guilt.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word. It really does seem like she's quite terrified of it. That could only mean...
What's going on? Is she really planning to... That's not what we thought she would...
Uh-oh!
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Furina, you may...
Oh god!
Hey!
Uh-oh. She actually... Oh no, I'm scared.
I'm fine! Look!
Oh
Look
no,
at me,
I don't like
everyone!
this.
My hand is still here! I haven't been dissolved! Will you believe me now? I really am
Bro, my heart was
your
like beating.
Archon.
Oh my, I was scared.
I'm nothing like a normal human
Nah,
who would
something's
fall
gonna happen.
apart as soon as they touch this water. Really? Was this not the most obvious thing in the world?
Miss Siegewing? If you're present, Miss Siegewing, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
Wait, what does Siegewing have to be?
Siege win? Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see. That should be
Oh,
enough.
she's doing like a medical exam.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss Siegewing.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Furina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. These indicate that she was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar concentration.
Thank you, Miss Siegewing. Lady Furina, you may return to the defendant's stand.
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved. Shouldn't that be enough to prove my innocence?
It's like really diluted.
Well,
Something.
considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around Poisson. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something entirely unexpected might occur, we don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah, so out of regard for Furina's life, you secured a low-concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness. It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Furina could have...
I can't believe... You...
what's really going on here? Furina can have not known the consequences of touching the water as a human. This is too unlike how she usually acts, unless it's actually more important for her to keep her facade than to save her own life. True. But how did she give it up on everything a long time ago?
Listen to me, everyone! Please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks! What happened just now didn't prove a single thing! Think about it! How can you conclusively prove that an Archon can't also be affected by the primordial seawater? Also, if
the prophecy.
I was really just a human,
Maybe.
why would I dare to just put my hand in that kind of water?
Oh god, she's having like a panic attack.
Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. The odds are just too stacked against her now.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's any way left for Furina to win.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of
Oh my
evidence
God.
has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
The oratories?
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. She's too stacked against her now.
What's happening? Oh, is this where the whale comes? Something, I don't know. Oh, wait, what?
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Furina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Furina is guilty.
Oh. What the heck? Oh god. Oh, this is where she cries. What's
We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges.
I was gonna say, her getting... I feel like even everyone else would be like, wait, hold up, a death sentence, hold up. Jeez, that's a bit far.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Furina is...
Yep.
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
It can't be. Did the archers just declare Furina to be innocent? No. Literally a complete 180.
No. The Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, guilty to be punished via the death sentence.
The death sentence?
The music.
That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always thought that it was just a myth.
Oh my god.
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court, and it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice? What an unexpected twist.
The music.
Sentenced to death
Please
by the Oratrice?
don't.
We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth. How did things escalate this quickly?
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
I know.
Yeah, even Fauché wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice.
That is
And
true.
the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
That is true. What's more strange is instead of Furina, the Oratrice rendered judgment on the Hydro Archon.
Indeed. Not only is Furina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Furina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first place.
But it says she is the Hydro Archon.
But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What does this mean?
Whoa. Wait. When does the whale come into it? That's what I'm asking. When does the whale come into it? 1 and 2, what the hell?
Excuse me,
Oh?
if I may interrupt.
Oh?
Is the trial still going?
Fremine! You finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Where did you go?
Any mission Father assigns to me will always be top priority.
Is that how you to Frodo brings a stone slate into the... Oh, the last one!
That the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Furina to try and find the missing slate.
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water. But has the trial already concluded? Then doesn't that mean I've come too late? Oh no. Father will be disappointed in me.
Don't worry, the mystery hasn't been resolved yet. It's still not too late for you to shine.
Thank you for your hard work,
Is it
Mr.
her
Fremine.
creating?
Please allow me to review the record left on the slate. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates. I would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
Okay.
So what do you see? What is it?
This looks like the previous Hydra Archon releasing her divine power, turning the Oceanus into a human being.
I believe I've now made sense of the Hydra Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
She created humans? No way this theory came true.
Isn't the Hydra Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Furina, and we've already proven that she's not the Hydra Archon.
She's guilty for making a new race.
So when you say Hydra Archon,
and that's a sin.
do you mean the real Hydra Archon we've been kind of talking about?
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slates. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
An association between the contents of the slates and their events in real life.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates. Paimon will do her best to help you remember.
There's one of her bowing, one of her with like Celestia shooting down or whatever, and one of her like surrounded by people. I thought that. Oh my god! I thought that was the friggin'. Oh, I'm cutscene for a second.
The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydra Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into humans. Does that mean that Fontainians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that. But if Oceanids can turn into humans, then perhaps this process can be reversed as well.
So Furina could be just Oceanid.
The stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydra Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them. This must be the point when the Hydra Archon and the Fontainians were branded with their original sin. Does this mean that the original sin and the Hydra Archon sin are the same thing?
The original sin is the creation of these humans.
Shows the Hydra Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else? Well, the first slate is the prophecy the Fontainians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea, the Hydra Archon crying on her throne, and so on.
The thing is, it's Furina
I
there.
didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen.
Can we just say it's literally Furina that's there?
But after that incident, it was just a question of when and not if.
Like I said, if the prophecy is true, that means Furina is the Archon. If it's saying that a Hydra Archon is there. It seems to show the 4 Hydra Archon turn into Oceanids. This one, right? Him reversing it.
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women that Fontainians can be dissolved in primordial seawater And this might be the reason that Fontainians can dissolve.
It shows there's a floating in the sky Hydra Archon that people worshipping it together.
That doesn't sound quite right.
Oh my god. Ow!
That doesn't...
Oh!
Perhaps
that makes sense.
What is about to take place
That makes sense.
has all happened before. The true sin of the Hydro Archon that Nervalet mentioned, and...
Oh, fuck. I keep forgetting that. It just skips it. It shows the Hydra Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by the people. Oh, Child!
That doesn't sound quite right.
Wait, Child was sinking in the primordial sea, though. Oh, and I guess,
it's not as simple as falling into the sea. When
I was thinking
Navia
of
fell
Child
into
in
the
the
sea,
primordial sea.
her consciousness was subjected to judgment. The stone slates show the people gathered around the Hydro Archon in the sea. Could that be alluding to the same thing?
Probably. Yeah, the prophecy. Oh, N? Because she said the prophecy will be fulfilled? Oh.
The prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society.
Okay.
But not many people believed it at first.
Now that makes sense.
The fortress of Meropide was nearly flooded with primordial seawater.
It was.
Which we know can cause Fontainians to dissolve. It seems increasingly likely that the prophecy may come true. If we hadn't dealt with it in time, things could have gone very badly.
That is true. That's true. And it's going to fill up and fold out.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater, converge, and take the form of an Oceanid.
So this is just going backwards. That's just going back.
The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present.
That's a cool thumbnail. It's actually kind of a cool thumbnail.
This means that her sin was actually Fontaine's original sin. Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson in a court within her consciousness, and was forced to take part in a trial meant to make her stay. The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meropide was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what. The prophecy's contents can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we know together, loads of truths should come to light.
And there we go. Verification complete. Oh, sounds like I'm going to take through a hospital or something. Not hospital, freaking oh, I need to click. Airport. Your verification is complete. You may move on. Hello.
Huh? Oh, Paimon gets it now. So that's how you can make sense of it. But then it feels like we're going to have to share some truly shocking revelations.
Let's hear them.
The first state reveals that Fontainians are not real humans.
Incredible. Linny, did you hear that?
We're not real humans.
All Fontainians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as their basis.
So us not being able to see that they're made of Hydro through the sight, the vision sight thing that you can use on the Traveler, it's so it didn't spoil things. So it didn't spoil things.
The evidence for that
was
can be
true.
found in how only Fontainians could dissolve in primordial seawater, and how all the girls Vacher dissolved were also turned into Oceanids. Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial, all of them in the shape of Oceanids.
Indeed.
The second slate reveals that the crime of the Hydro Archon was her creation of the Fontainians from oceans.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celestia by creating humans without prior permission. That could also
It's nice that they put it in the corner so we know what it looks like. That's nice.
Archon to be
That is
guilty.
nice.
It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
Yep.
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese. The twists of history are often the most unexpected of all.
And the third slate, I'm still convinced that it should come after the fourth slate.
Yeah! Isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate?
The fourth slate depicts the fulfillment of the prophecy, and it's already widely known.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away. Did Paimon get all that right?
Yeah.
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth. However, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different power source. When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. But since we only had 3 slates at the time, I was unable to come to a full conclusion. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative recorded within. If everything goes well, we should finally be informed of the unadulterated truth.
Alright, let's see. Let's see.
Well? Did you get it?
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly summarize it for you. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontainians and the sin of the Hydro Archon were both correct. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the 7, did not possess the authority to create a new form of human life. Not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontainians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids.
Oh, interesting.
Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race.
That was cool.
And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
So we were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single thing. Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontainian.
Yeah.
But it does answer a lot of our questions.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the 3rd and 4th stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct.
So they are in the right order. What is the 3rd slate supposed to represent
A
then?
key point of the visual on the 3rd slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are humans rather than Oceanids. They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scene symbolizes judgment and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to determine her fate. Therefore, The meaning of the third slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the Court of Justice.
It can't be, so it predicted this.
Yes, it refers to our present situation.
So, the force... Oh my god.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though we decided to put on this trial to avoid fulfilling the prophecy, in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold. So now, it seems, we're the ones making sure it comes true.
What should we do?
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like there's no way out of this.
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled. Is this what it feels like to be a prisoner of fate?
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also be fulfilled soon?
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions. About the fourth slate, you probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass, yes? However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse to come. As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before.
Wait, could it be so... The whale? Wait, could it be... Hold up. Man, I keep thinking it's gonna be a cutscene, man. But no,
this eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must find the root cause of the disaster.
Just straight up, just go child. Oh, wait, what? Oh, whale.
It was both dream
Same thing, child
and
whale.
reality.
Same thing. Same thing. And the whale's gonna go.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea, right?
Yep. That's the thing.
The truth, the original
That's
sin,
a beautiful shot.
the trial,
That's a beautiful shot.
and the root cause of the disaster.
I hate that to click. I hate that I have to click. So it's the primordial well the entire time. Oh my god, the well's gonna come out. This is the cutscene, right? Wait, no. No way. It is! Oh my god, it is! Like, you figured it out? Now it's time to go. Here we go! And people think that's Skirk as well, but who knows? It's gonna eat everyone! Oh! Child! Child saving everyone! They're working together! Oh, child, you don't look good. Oh, he fell back in. Oh, he fell back in. Holy crap, that was sick.
Way too close.
Oh my god, look at that. Oh my god.
Into the opera house. Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
That's right. I'll wager that it's also the one that child saw when he was young.
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tevat.
Nope.
It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea levels. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea,
what was
its
Furina
next
reaction to
step will
this?
be
I wish I saw Furina's reaction to all this.
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids, she filled their blood vessels with primordial seawater.
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh impossible to resist. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food in the form of Fontanians.
Oh my god.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people again once it's managed to recover its strength?
That is correct. Indeed, it
How
is
does
more
Skirt
accurate
come
to
into
say that we
this?
should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, the whale would have likely come onto land far sooner.
Oh, so he was trying to fight it off.
From the way he looked,
From
he
inside.
must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
Yeah, it did.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
It is too late.
What do you mean?
It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, it has become practically integrated with the sea itself.
So it will just dissolve anyone that touches it?
Even if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed, it could still survive and swim off towards some other world.
Or the cogs turning.
That's not something I will accept. We've already done everything we can, and we even found the true culprit. We've come so far. You can't just tell me that the last hurdle is some impossible foe. That's just not fair.
Indeed, that's not how a grand performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end, no matter what.
Let's go.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
Huh?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled.
Oh.
You may view such things as the history of the future.
After everything, it still turned out like this. We couldn't fight against fate. Wait, but if this is all about fate...
Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the god's gaze does not fall?
So if we enter that place, that means the prophecy is not like actually happening. Like we can negate the prophecy and fate if we enter that place at the whale is. Is that what it's talking about?
Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part.
To fight the whale in the place, maybe? Could it be that even the prophecy will be fulfilled, there will still be a way to save everyone? Did I miss something? Probably. Wait, I forgot about Furina. What was it that she wanted to say to me at the last moment in the giant box? Was it her real secret? Another cutscene? You got to be kidding. What?
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Oh, wait, what?
Furina!
But how is it going to do that, though? How would it do it itself?
I still need answers.
Whoa. Oh, wait, what? Hello? Could this be a new Furina skin, maybe? But, huh?
You...
Is that Egeria? Is this Egeria?
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Furina. Who are you?
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But
She seems
to answer
taller
your
as well.
question, I am Focalors. You know, the god.
Oh, so the actual god was trapped in the oratory?
Focalors. Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principles.
Oh.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria for the uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe. Now does it?
Oh, so...
She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass.
Oh, so Focalors is the actual name So Focalors is the actual name of the Archon. And Furina is just a separate part?
And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor.
That's a long?
And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized there was only one possible solution to this confounding conundrum. I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least, while saving everyone at the same time. I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess to clean up. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand.
Oh.
Yes, I was.
Interesting.
I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being.
Oh my god.
The me
it is true.
you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Furina.
Wow.
She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings.
That was one of the things in her latest drip marketing, wasn't it?
But in my
Wasn't it one of her latest drip marketing?
Furina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Furina to be an actress, to play the part of the Hydro Archon in the prophecy. Under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalors' divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of that prophecy coming to pass. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
But Furina is only human, isn't she? Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure. It must have been torture for her.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology for it. It's been 500 years.
Jesus
and all along,
Christ.
She's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
Is it just going to go back to us now? I came into contact with Furina's tears. If I remember correctly, tears often contain our being's strongest emotions. With sufficiently strong hydrosensitivity, I can form an emotional connection, just like I did with the Oceanid at the Fountain of Lucine. Wait, could this be Furina's inner world? Furina, what is she doing on stage? Wait a moment, the prophecy isn't Furina. This is most likely a reflection of her inner self. If I can directly speak to that self, I might be able to easily get what I wanted to know. I came here for answers. Either way, this opportunity is not to be missed. Let me try talking to her. Okay. Oh my god, look at this place. Look at that, the cap, it's like right on her. Look at that. That must be blinding, Jesus. Jeez.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self, but I must ask you to keep to the rules.
Come on, it's me, Furina.
All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance.
But I don't see an audience here.
Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontainians are upon me.
Turn off that light?
I must at all times display the utmost elegance and nobility.
Is this the Furina in the outside world talking? The outside Furina talking? Something's off. There's no getting through to her, even if her heart of hearts, she's still playing the role of the Hydra Archon. What sort of resolve must she have that even her inner self and subconscious would have such impenetrable defense? I have to find a way. Let's turn off the light. Alright, just turn off the, yeah, okay.
Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Oh, god damn it. Right.
There is no escape. A round of applause. Torn to
unnecessary.
Hey, what gifts? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards! Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Right here. Alright, now turn off the last one. There we go. That's all the spotlights turned off. In Furina's heart, they must have symbolized the eyes of the people on her. Speaking of which, I think I just received some sort of signal. Was that her true voice? A ticket. When did it end up here? Oh. Anyway, it looks like the show is about to begin. In that case, show me how you truly feel, Furina. Scene 1 before the mirror, Furina. Hey, we're not on stage. Lies. Lies. The lies.
Furina. Furina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you.
Wait a moment. You're Mirror me?
Oh, she is taller.
How can this
yeah,
be?
she is taller. Thought so. I thought so.
Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad. Let's go with that.
Mirror me. What do you wish to say?
The prophecy. Have you heard of it?
What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think. I don't know why, but it's in my head somehow. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Oh, very good. You know it well.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember anything clearly. The only thing I know for sure is this prophecy. Will it really come to pass?
Yep.
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine sooner or later. Things will develop just as the prophecy declared. There is no escaping it.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontainian just like them. Will I dissolve too?
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to turn things around. It is the reason why you met me today. I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have to suffer somewhat.
Oh?
So there's still hope after all. Goodness, you frightened me. You spoke so much and with so much certainty. As for the suffering, well, I will admit that the first thing that came to mind was, why do I have to be the one to suffer? But if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? So if I've already met you as my magical meeting in this world.
Is this like her first?
If there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on
She
one
sounds
side,
young,
and my
very
being on
young.
the other,
Even younger.
is it not obvious where the scales should tilt?
You truly are the perfect human. My ideal. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play a role. That of the new Archon.
So this is like 500 years ago at this
Play
point.
as
Wow.
God.
That's right.
The memories.
You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let anyone suspect your identity. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed, then all hope will be lost.
Oh, and that's what...
But how will I do this? A human assuming the role of a god without being exposed.
Don't worry.
Is that why she was served the death sentence at that point?
Turn yourself into a real god. You simply need to
Well,
play the role
did
of
the
a god as humans imagine them to be. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such an entity would be like. Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but contending against humanity.
I'm still not sure I understand, but I'll try. I'll try to do this. So, how long am I going to have to play this role?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. You will endure and not grow old until your task ends. But I promise you, all will eventually end in a magnificent and dramatic trial, and everyone will be saved.
So to grow old, all of this has to end. To grow up.
How exciting. I'll be looking forward to it.
Scene 2. A session speech Furina. It feels weird that we're only here by ourselves. It was so silent. So silent.
The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession.
Huh?
But this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest, I still don't know. Perhaps I should first try to act natural.
Summon courage.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera Epiclese. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, I am Furina de Fontaine, your new Archon.
Appear earnest.
In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor to guide you all. As the god Focalors, the god of justice, I shall do all within my power to lead you into an age of fairness and justice.
Close politely.
Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, please send them to the Maison Cardinalise. The future of Fontaine will require us to work together, after all.
So the reason why she was served the death sentence is because she was proof that she was human, and that's not what Focalors wanted. So yeah, so she got served the death sentence.
Should do it.
Interesting.
I thought I might
Interesting.
stammer, but thankfully, I was able to convey my thoughts just fine. Okay, and next.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit more assertive.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest.
That's what I said.
What's the difference between her and an ordinary person, then?
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just be a Maison-backed puppet.
Wait,
Oh, wow.
what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fake? Oh, this is bad. If I get exposed here, there'll be no saving the people from the prophecy. Right. Mirmi said that I just need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Calm down, Furina. Think. What do
Sorry, I'm
the
not
people
talking, I'm
want?
just
How would they
trying to
imagine a
listen.
god to speak and act? Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all doubt. That is the character I'm fated to play.
There's the laugh.
Very good, my people.
There's
Only
the Furina
ones
we
such
know.
as you are deserving of my rule. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house, would the children of Fontaine follow them? Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous trials alongside my august self here in this
wait a
opera
second.
house.
That's why she was crying. Is back on the chair because she knew she failed. She failed of because she got let's say proof that she was a human, so she failed her mission. So she was crying about that. Oh my god, that will make sense now. It'll make sense now.
You may consider
Oh my
my
God.
previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut that suited the atmosphere. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Her personality. It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before. Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful. Our future may yet be bright after all.
Everyone
It
believes.
seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech.
Resolutely with
My
conviction.
dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well,
Rick,
I
you get to
say that
control this?
justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid sin.
Turn up the drama.
The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its God. On one side, it must carry fairness and justice. And on the other, praise and applause. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and drink to the future of Fontaine.
End the speech empathetic.
There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. All that is needed is for you, my people, to believe in it, heart and soul. So long as I, the Archon Focalors, stand within the Opera Epiclese, so long as I stand
Pardon me?
before the
Oh.
Oratrice, I shall even judge the gods of this world!
Let's go! Woohoo! Number 3. Scene 3, Opera House, Furina.
Lady Furina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House in person? Leave these kinds of things to Neuvillette. Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial are you truly looking forward to?
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end all things. How could you hope to understand?
That's true. I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought, Lady Archon.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duties. The trial I await. It will come one day.
It has, and I feel like the one is what we're in right now. Before.
Lady Furina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for agreeing to see me.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of perseverance instead. Long have you stood in line to meet me, have you not? Oh, I'm afraid that's just an inevitable consequence of my divine charm. All right. Deoteria, is it? How is your son's illness?
You remembered me, and you knew of my family, too. He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I. He was the one who forced me to seek an audience with you, and to bring your words back to him.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please do not hesitate to come and tell me. Going down to citizens' homes every so often, while not usual practice, should serve as a fine change of pace.
Oh, you're such a gentle and wise god. Thank you once again, on behalf of my son.
Interesting. Oh, the bed. A bed is the last one. Is that gonna be like a dream inside of a dream? Jesus Christ. Oh, someone messed up the books. Crimes?
Lady Furina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take note of, I'm afraid things still don't look good.
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I wanted to see how far your human wisdom would allow you to analyze it. All manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass. Forget it. That's not something you need to worry about right now.
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute is also trying to find a way to counter the rising water levels.
Really? Have they found anything?
I'm afraid that they haven't found any effective solution thus far.
Oh, is that so? Well, no wonder. This issue has reached the realm of the gods, after all. Still, their spirit is praiseworthy.
So every time she says, well, I'm a god and you won't understand it, it's just to make it so... I'm like, oh yeah, I guess we don't understand, to make herself still look like a god. So she can keep that lie going. Yeah. Yep, the bed's the last one. What the hell is this gonna be? Dreams?
The day is finally over.
Oh, exhausted.
She's
exhausted.
Had a moment to breathe this whole time. But it's good to see that everything's getting on track. There are no longer any voices of suspicion. Maybe this is fine. I just need to keep going, and everyone will be saved. All right, Furina, don't think too hard about this. You need rest. Tomorrow's a new day.
You're gonna get a good night's sleep. Number 4, Opera House Furina. Isn't that just the same one as before?
Lady
how many
Furina,
things are there?
here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
There'll be no need for that.
Jesus
I've seen
Christ,
them
Furina.
already. There's no need to go back over scenes I've witnessed in person before.
Lady Furina, I've...
In fact, she's getting sick of it at this point.
So long for this chance to see you in this manner.
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen. This joyous moment is an honor for us both.
Lady Furina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. keep monitoring. Keep me informed should anything come up at the Institute.
So she knew about Poseidon the whole time.
I don't think I let anything slip today. I must show the people that there is nothing to worry about.
Man, so for 500 years, she just has to worry about keeping a light. Jesus, that would have been hard to do. I do feel sorry for Furina. Jesus Christ. It would have been hard.
Don't know when these days will end. I feel
She's had a hard.
exhausted. Best to rest early today, too.
So she gets literally 0 free time for the past 500 years. Holy crap. 25. Scene 5, Opera House, Furina again. So it's just Opera House, Opera House, Opera House, Opera House, Opera House. At this point. Just her looking through stuff. Jeez, man. No break. Literally 0 break. Day 6. Oh, okay. Day something. I've seen 1,000.
Lady Furina, it's like
Opera
a
House
dream
again.
being able to speak with you up close like this. I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was Madame Deoteria, almost 20 generations ago.
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great joy to meet such a faithful believer. A
Blocking her
descendant
face,
of a
look at that.
line most ardent.
That's interesting.
Surely you exaggerate, Lady Furina.
No, she is.
My lady?
What is it, good citizen?
Yeah.
Are you crying?
Really now? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, she's like, I just want this to be over at this point, which fair enough. Fair enough.
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god whose dominion is the waters, can I?
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of your power, then. Oh, Archon, I am honored to have witnessed it. Honored indeed.
That'd be weird to, like, listen to. It'd be weird to hear someone say that.
So interminable. So lonely. Just how much longer? Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on for hundreds more. I never imagined that it would hurt so much. Have I reached my limit? No. Perhaps I reached it long ago. Today I didn't even notice my own tears. I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. But
It would be
destroy
actually.
all I've done so far.
It probably would. That's the thing, though.
I've conducted so many investigations across the centuries, but there's not even a sliver of hope that we might break the prophecy. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain this act. It is the only way to save Fontaine. Please, mirror me. You have to succeed.
What day is this? Opera House, Furina, and Nouvellette? Navia? I just know.
Furina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone.
Oh, Traveler.
Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
So that was only like yesterday or something then. Jesus. That last one. That's my voice in this scene from when we were within the giant magic box. This is great. I didn't think that the scene would replay in her inner world. Surely I'll find a way. I'll find out what she wanted to tell me this time.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share it with me. I'm what you'd call a witness.
A witness?
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case...
Please say it doesn't get cut off again.
He's right. I could confide in him, couldn't I? But if things don't play out as expected, the people of Fontaine will be the ones to pay the price. No, Furina, you shouldn't be selfish. But what if it's really all right? Furina, you've worked so hard for so long. Surely it would be okay to put yourself first for once. Just this once. Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone in whom you can confide your frustrations and sorrows?
It's not.
Surely...
To all you out there, it's not. It is not.
If you let this opportunity slip through
Let it
your
all
fingers, it might never come by again. Think about it long and hard.
Come on. Let's...
No, I have nothing to say. I am Furina, the Archon of Fontaine. Everything will surely get better. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until the curtains fall.
No. Nothing.
Fine.
I thought she was actually going to say it, to be honest. I thought she was going to say it.
So even Furina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well.
I forgot about this part.
If she
I
had
forgot
let
about
her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate. It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth, is it not? How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine? That is the most important thing.
Ah, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along. Am I right?
Wow.
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it?
All those that theory's true. Oh my god, how many
Alas,
people
your
predicted this?
understanding of this
I guess
device
you're right.
still
Holy
lacks
moly.
sufficient depth.
Holy moly.
In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device
kind of right?
created to kill the god of justice.
What?
I beg your pardon?
Huh?
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will
That?
the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed. I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Furina suffered? My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the oratories.
Is she gonna kill herself?
But
No.
really,
Surely
some
not.
have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated
What
by
the
the
hell?
device was ever used to provide power to Fontaine. The vast majority had to be accumulated to enact this death sentence.
What?
It was all a part of your plan then? Both the trial and the sentence?
So it wasn't even our plan, it was hers. Oh my god, it's crazy.
Indeed.
That is crazy.
Power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the oratories. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia and breaking through the institution that is the Seven.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Furina nor Focalors, but for the Hydro Archon.
So it would not be the 7. It'd be the 7 without the Hydro Archon.
The destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent, you must be...
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course.
Whoa.
In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
Oh.
But...
He doesn't want Furina to die, does he? And most of all. He may
what? Getting sad again, are we?
He may find them annoying. Very annoying, but...
The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign. And this is the face you make.
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
Wow.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked.
True.
Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty of essentially the same crime? Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea.
Very true.
And the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons possessed. I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be returned to you? Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and their right to exist in this world would be Fontaine's original justice. In other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and to me, justice is the continuation of that existence, defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on.
Oh my god.
That should be the justice enthroned over all others. At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontainians, have shouldered the burden of this sin for far too long. Iudex Nervillet, the highest judge in our land, when you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign, what verdict shall you pass upon us?
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that that was your idea too. At last. I now understand the true purpose behind this position.
Jeez.
In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. And I have even attempted to feel as they feel. You are a devious one, Focalors. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
Wow. Another cutscene.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come.
Oh, that
I know
line from
I
the
may not sound it, but
Final Feast.
Faced with death,
Oh my god.
I find myself a little afraid.
Didn't expect that.
Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common.
Feet! Sorry. Sorry.
Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Oh. That was her just saying it normally. I thought that was like a kind of like an aggressive thing. Oh. Woo. Hold up. Oh, I like this new tune. Oh. So no way the Traveler's just gonna see her die there. That's where her hat's just gotta fall in the ground. Oh my god. So yep, they are same as one. No way, it's Furina. Oh, is that the power? No way, Furina's actually dead though. Actually dead. Surely there's just like a small snippet of her just there, right? Like this, Furina. Or is she actually? If she's. Thank you, Furina, for all you've done. From this moment on, please live happily as a human. Just as I wished we could. Oh no, she's just a human now. Who's gonna grow old eventually and just die. That's actually okay, thank God. Here we go, he's now dragon. Oh.
I, Iudex Nervalette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Let's go! Oh, I thought he was fighting Child here. Oh, okay. Or like in that beam. Okay, wow. Holy shit, that was a cutscene. Man, there's been a lot of cutscenes. I mean, it is like a 5 to 6 hour quest, but holy shit. Okay, so yeah, Furina isn't actually dead. She's just, one, there's no Hydro Archon now. There's literally no Hydro Archon. It's gone. Two, Furina just lives on as a normal human now, which I'm happy about. I was afraid that she was gonna die for a second. But no, it's all good.
What just happened? Has the death sentence been carried out?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a feeling that something huge just happened.
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I assume whatever happened was good for us.
We're gonna get some Celestia lore. Something's gonna happen with Celestia now since... Or the Heavenly Principle, since the Hydra Archon is just gone now. It's not even the 7 anymore, it's the 6. What's gonna happen?
It's time to end this.
What is gonna
happen? We must
happen?
mete out punishment to that beast.
Didn't you say just a moment ago that it can't be defeated?
We were there
I have
as well.
gained the strength sufficient to deal with it.
Kinda.
Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the Primordial Sea from that creature. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry.
You obtained power just now?
Traveler, Now that the oratories can no longer function,
Oh yeah,
I
look at it.
require an executor to help me mete out justice.
You mean me?
The root of the calamities befalling Fontaine. The beast that enacts the prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring narwhal. Come with me, traveler.
Narwhal? I thought it was narwhal.
The hour of execution has come.
Wow. Wait, no, are we going in now? I wanted to do this tomorrow because it's really late for me now.